Today we have a very interesting discussion, and I would like to share with you my theory and my philosophy. What kind of actually footing we have to use in a round pen education when we educate a horse in the first level, discover philosophy and methodology in the foundation program, and how actually footing connect to the horse mental and physical abilities, and also the same footing connect to the horseman mental and physical abilities. And if we're going to use not proper footing, it's very important for us to understand horse will never gonna go mentally because he gonna be frustrated and mentally only think and discomfort to travel or perform for any physical exercises what we're asking him, first of all mentally, and physical ability is going to fall apart. When horse going to mentally fall apart and physically going to fall apart, same way as a horseman, as educator, going to start to fall apart. Mentally, first of all, and after physically. So I would like to share with you my theory and my philosophy. What kind of footing we have to use in round pen, and why it's so important for us as educator to have a very good footing in a round pen, and also have amazing footing for our horses when we educate them in the first level, discover philosophy and methodology in a round pen. When we're educating horses in round pen, many times we struggle and frustrated, and horse frustrated and struggle when we're educating horse in round pen. And for us, it's a horseman as educated and horsewoman, very hard to find an answer. Why actually horse hesitate travel left and right direction? Why horse not turning inside? One horse cannot stop and face me. And we all, most of the time, we try to blame the horse and find a problem with our horse, what kind of mistake horse does and his education. But today our discussion and our subject actually about the footing. And many times, when we're educating horse in round pen, footing can create, not proper footing, can create a lot of problems in the horse, problems and hesitation and communication between horse and horseman when we're educating horse in the round pen. So footing, it's a very, very important tool when we're educating horses in the round pen. So he's gonna be mentally and physically relaxed when we're sending him signals and our cues and teaching him to understand our body language without fear and frustration. When I'm educating horses, younger horses or older horses, I as a horseman believe so much footing in the round pen. That's a very important tool for horsemanship education, in a horse education, when educating horses. Because when we're going to start to apply uncomfortable and use uncomfortable tool for our horses in same footing, uncomfortable footing in round pen, or uncomfortable other tool when we're educating horses, bridle, saddle, uncomfortable bit, halter, and it's not comfortable in our hands, reins, or different saddles, we falling apart mentally, horses fall apart mentally. And after all physical ability disappear, and what we only have frustration between each other. So footing in round pen, that's another tool when we're using to educate horses, first of all, mental and physical abilities. And for me, it's as educator, and when you're going to start to educate horse, it's so critical important to have very, very good flat level footing in round pen. So it's going to be comfortable for horse joints, tendons, mental and physical abilities when horse travel left or right direction or perform any physical exercise when you educate horse in a round pen. So let's talk about and find what kind of actually footing we have to use in round pen. When we're educating horses in round pen, for us as educators, horsemen or horsewomen, very important to understand. In round pen, we're educating horses, develop horse mental abilities, physical abilities, balance, coordination, two-way communication between horse and horseman, learn horse language and horse learn human language. And it's very important right now what I told you a second ago. Because round pen, it's not just educate horse travel to the left and right direction, and after ask horse come towards us and stay with us in the middle. And that's the answer right now. That's the reason why we need amazing footing in round pen. Because we have to develop horse mental abilities. Because we're going to apply many different physical exercises to develop horse mental and physical abilities. Say, for example, ask horse travel consistently left and right direction. If we have not flat footing and we have dips in our footing, horse will never travel consistently. Horse will gonna hesitate, change direction, lean inside, lean outside. Say, for example, we have footing very hard in the edges, and after have very soft spot and again very hard, or wet spots in the round pen. Again, horse will never gonna travel consistent and consistently. Horse mentally will gonna escape the spots. Because let's just think together. If we walk as a human, just walk in the street or in the field, and it's a nice footing, and randomly we have deep spot or we have wet spot, we as a human gonna look with our eyes, because we're not confident mentally, we're gonna start to walk around the spot and continue going in a straight line, or jump over, because we don't wanna hurt physically. But that's our mental abilities actually sending to our physical abilities. You have to escape the spot. But it's no different what's happened with horses. And when horse not travel consistently to the left and right direction, only travel, or horse not travel in the speed we desire from the horse, walk, trot, lop, and horse speed up, change direction, cannot travel in straight line. Straight line never end in a round pen. We start to find and blame our horses, but reality we have to mentally understand and think about how we will feel if we don't have proper straight level footing and safe footing around pen. Say, for example, we're going to educate horse stop and face you. And if it's a very deep sand and he travel from very shallow sand and he go to this deep sand, he will never going to stop and face, because it's uncomfortable spot for him to start again new speed. Or it's uncomfortable to use hind quarters and front shoulders to actually stop and face you. If it's going to be a wet spot in a round pen, after rain, etc., that's going to be exactly the same problem. So it's not a horse fault at all. Horse only wants to be comfortable when we educate him. Mentally first, that's very important to understand, mentally first, and after physically. When we're going to educate horse speed control, if it's footing not level, and again we have deep, so we stay in any angle around pen, or we have a grass in the round pen, or we cut the grass and it's very short grass, and especially if we educate horse in the morning in the grass, when the dew still on in the grass, that's very dangerous. And then we apply a lot of pressure to make horse travel, because horse leaning inside. Behind the horse, hind quarters applies this pressure, so horse will travel to this spot. And we think horse lazy, horse leaning inside, we have to increase much more energy, so horse will travel to the left and right direction. But reality, we have to think beyond just physical abilities. We have to, of the horse, we have to really think about horse mental abilities. And we have to set up this round pen perfectly in this footing, so this footing will going to be very comfortable. And it's not going to be reason for the horse at all mentally fall apart. Because if horse mentally falling apart when he travel or perform any physical exercise what you asking him, he not concentrate on your cues with your energy, voice command, body language. Horse only mentally concentrate how to escape and not going to be hurt on this spot in the round pen. It's not different like I explained you before, and sheer pressure and release will not going to educate the horse, because if we're going to apply whip behind the horse hind quarters, horse will only concentrate mentally what's happened behind him. and gonna fall apart mentally, and physical ability is gonna start to fall apart. So my theory, my philosophy, it's exactly the same. If we want to educate a horse in a round pen, discover philosophy methodology around pen, first of all, we have to have amazing tools so we can apply these tools. And tools, that's our footing. And when we apply these tools and educate horse, first of all, mental abilities, and he's relaxed mentally, and he's not frustrated, not upset, not worried when we educate him any physical performance maneuver in round pen, and he relax, his physical abilities will gonna grow. But the most important, we will not gonna be frustrated. We're gonna have a good success when we educate a horse. It's comfortable for us to move left and right, forward, backwards, when we send in signals and cues and communicate with our horse. And also we're not putting ourselves in a dangerous situation. So footing is a critical important to have very good footing in a round pen when we're educating horses and apply our methodology. So we understand when we're educating horse mental abilities in a round pen, it's very important to have very good footing. So very deep sand, even if it's level and it's straight and flat, but it's very deep sand, that again will frustrate horse mental abilities because it's uncomfortable to move forward, and he have to pick up his shoulders and his knees very high. He's gonna sag in with hind quarters. And it's going to be very hard for him to travel in a forward motion at different speed. It's going to be uncomfortable. He's going to start to stop, hesitate, go forward, change direction, lean inside, lean outside. Just wait mentally how this education will finish today, and he's going to escape from this education. So very deep sand, that's not a choice in a round pen. It's not a choice to educate horse mental and physical abilities. And at the same time, it's very dangerous for us as a horseman because we cannot move proper way and send consistent cues to our horses. We learn also very wet footing, and if we have spots, wet spots around pen after rain, or it's just footing not absorb very well moisture in round pen, horse gonna start to hesitate to travel, change direction, escape these wet spots. And again, mentally and physically, he's gonna fall apart. We learn if we're gonna use the grass in a round pen. It's probably one of the most dangerous spots and grounds and footing in a round pen to educate horse. Because horse can actually fall down and break their legs, break their neck, and slip under a round pen with his front leg. And very important to understand, and if horse gonna stuck with front legs in round pen and gonna start to get up and gonna tangle with these panels, it's very important for us to understand we stand in the middle of the round pen, and it's 12 panels surrounded by 20 panels. And if horse gonna start to pull this panel with him, we're in a very dangerous situation in our life, and we can lose even our life in this situation. So it's very, again, important to have proper footing. We learn also if we're going to have very hard footing, even if it's a level, and we don't have wet spots, we don't have dips in this footing, it's still uncomfortable footing for a horse. Because when horse travels the left and right direction, he might gonna travel left and right consistently, and be balanced and be coordinated and listen to your cues. But one day you're gonna find horse hesitate travel, or he's very slow, or he's gonna start to lower his neck and looks very tired. It's because his mental ability is hurt, mental ability is sending a signal to his joints, to their knees, to their shoulders, to their neck, withers, hindquarters. Because all these joints working on these hoofs, postures, they're working on this hard surface of the footing, and you have a lot of stress and his legs and his shoulders and all body, and mental ability is going to fall apart, and physical ability is going to start to fall apart. Then we're going to start to apply tool to make a horse travel forward. And again, it's going to be disaster in our education. We're going to start to fall apart mentally and physically. So it's very important for us as an educator, a horsewoman or horseman, to use very proper footing in round pen. I'm using very hard base underneath, and I'm using 5-6 inches of the sand on top. Every day I drag my sand, so it's going to be fluffy and soft when I educate horses, and it's flat. It's not slippery from the horse. Horse have a lot of traction when he travels. It's soft, it's not damage his joints, and he is happy mentally communicate with me. And when we travel and when educate horse, and he mentally connect to me when educate, and I am comfortable, very comfortable in round pen. Our education progressing so fast, mentally and physically, without fear and without hesitation. I am safe, horse safe, and I am not damage horse mental and physical abilities and his education. I would like to share another options and reason how horse mentally and physically can fall apart when we don't have proper footing round pen. Say for example we have a round pen and we're working in the first level discard philosophy methodology round pen for a long period of time, say for example a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And we just dragging we come to the round pen with our four-wheeler and drag behind the four-wheeler, and we dragging our round pen, go close to the wall and start to drag sand, so it's going to be nice and fluffy, so horse will develop his mental and physical abilities without frustration. I'm going to give you a small detail, and it's a very important detail. And when I start this conversation with you, I describe we're working with horse 2 or 3 weeks in a round pen, or even 1 week in a round pen. When horse travel consistently around us all the time, when horse using his feet, he build up the sand all the time against the wall. So what's happened right now? We have an angle beside the wall, and at the same time we have flat footing in the middle, and we're gonna have a small gap all the way around, like a trench, all the way around of the round pen. So horse will gonna start to lean inside, because we have angle beside the wall, we have trench all the way around the round pen, and again like a small hill go to the middle round pen. So horse have to mentally or travel all the time in this trench and be so very consistent, or he have to start to lean inside because it's not comfortable for him, because also we have a slope, this angle beside the wall. So inside, if horse gonna travel to the left, inside left leg gonna be in the angle, so he gonna hurt his knee and his joint. His right leg gonna be much more in the air without actually consistency with traveling forward motion. Exactly the same happened with hindquarters. Inside, he gonna use much more inside leg in the angle, not to straight and not to be balanced and coordinated. So his shoulder is going to start to hurt. His rib cage going to start to hurt. And mental abilities again going to start to fall apart. That's a very small detail, but many times, and I pass all this when I'm working with horses and find the answer to share with you and help you. And help you with your horses, so you will have amazing success with your horses. So horse not going to hurt mentally and physically. So every day when I work with my horses, even when I drag my round pen with four-wheeler, I take a shovel or take a rake and I rake all sand inside from the walls. So all the time flat surface for the horse. So horse will travel and perform on any physical exercise that I desire from him. Be balanced, be coordinated, and not fall apart mentally. And if you're not going to fall apart mentally, he's never going to apart physically.